the controlling factions of British and German intelligence, i.e., MI6 and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks, seem to be a combined network of Royal Arch Freemasons, Atlantean Rosicrucians, and various German secret societies such as the Ordo Templi Orientis and the Anglo-German Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and various other networks associated with these networks. Indeed, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst is a key network to be studied, seems to have an enormous amount of power and control over various general government intelligence agencies, but is itself a decentralized network consisting of, in its inner sanctum, the bloodline descendants of Abwehr, SS, SD, and Gestapo operatives who are interfaced with several corporate networks, the most prominent being Siemens, ThyssenKrupp, and the BASF cartel, which is the continuation of the IG Farben networks, which itself links in with the ongoing IG Farben intelligence network, which is termed NW7, who are heavily linked to the activities of the Bilderberg Group and are the main intelligence agency behind the elites of the Bilderberg Group. Indeed, the IG Farben intelligence, NW7, are themselves linked in with the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst and were so originally through the Galen organization, which was begun by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst linking up with the CIA and MI6 after the end of the Second World War to continue the apparatus of the Nazi intelligence services within Anglo-American intelligence networks, which itself spawned such projects as Operation Gladio and the paperclip affair, whereby many technical specialists and psychiatrists and intelligence operatives were transferred from Nazi Germany into Anglo-American institutions. Indeed, the Nazi psychiatrists were very prominent in the Bluebird, Artichoke, and MK Ultra programs, as well as the British Mindgate program, experimenting on psychiatric patients, utilizing Nazi eugenics and trauma-based programming. Indeed, this also links to the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst network control over many elements of the Vatican and the involving Operation Rat Line, whereby many Nazis were smuggled to South America. Indeed, the framework had been laid for this by the Rockefellers' Private Intelligence Consortium, which had made South America the safest place for many Nazis to be funneled to. Indeed, this all links up with the Jesuit and other Vatican orders, general networks of ritual abuse and trauma-based programming. Indeed, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst itself maintains blackmail archives and ritual abuse networks, which are key in their espionage activities and their methods of espionage. Indeed, they utilize this method to basically control all corporate, political, and financial assets of theirs through ritual abuse being filmed involving political, financial, and corporate figures, especially involving minors, and thereby these minors, these figures are blackmailed for the abuse of minors by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Indeed, it seems that the Epstein saga is part of the Gentile Anglo-German controlling factions of British and German intelligence, i.e. the Atlantean and Rosicrucian networks, are basically dangling out the Frankist element of the blackmail networks to support their own agenda, whereby they can shut the Frankist networks down due to the threats to the intelligence establishment concerning the fact that the Frankists are out of control, as I've explained in a previous video. And although the information is redacted, this is what I can glean from this, is that the Epstein networks were dangled out there so that everybody would point the finger at the Hebraic networks and the Israeli state for these operations, when this is all just a cover to keep the British and German intelligence networks, especially the Secret Intelligence Service, MI6, and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks, from being revealed. Indeed, the other elements involved within the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst general structure are occult networks, whereby the intelligence hierarchy of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst can maintain the loyalty of other operatives through ritual, whereby loyalty is basically enforced through that ritual, and the operatives are often required to engage in acts that are not considered society appropriate by society and are often highly illegal, and thereby they are themselves under blackmail, just as the blackmail networks operate. But there are also ideas that of creating bonds through a kind of kinship through the ritual. Indeed, this is prominent also in Skull and Bones and such societies, and of course the Masons as a whole. Indeed, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst also digitize the brainwaves and neural patterns of tortured victims and upload them onto databases, whereby they are able to manipulate the direction of artificial intelligence technology and study mind patterns of tortured victims. They are also doing this to schizophrenics because there is some sort of occult power in their eyes to be derived from it, though this all serves an intelligence function and application. Indeed, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst are heavily represented in transnational law firms, whereby they can protect their assets. They're also highly represented on corporate boards, especially of the German multinationals, such as Siemens, ThyssenKrupp, and BASF, the continuation of IG Farben. And they are also prominent within the Vatican networks, as I have stated, with a controlling percentage of much of the Jesuit order. But the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst is not indistinct from British intelligence, especially the factions coordinated by the Royal Arch Freemason and Atlantean Rosicrucian orders. Indeed, a very important appendage of this has always been the Ordo Templi Orientis, which in one of its incarnations was known as the Order of the Illuminati, linked to the prime German intelligence operative Theodor Reuss, and the Ordo Templi Orientis, known most notably for its adherent and British and German intelligence operative Aleister Crowley, who created the religion of Thelema, which is a common intelligence code amongst the British intelligence and Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks, and is very, very heavily represented in the Masonic lodges of the United Grand Lodge of England and the Scottish Rite. Indeed, the Ordo Templi Orientis is a key connecting network between British and German intelligence, especially MI6 and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, and is itself prominent also in Vatican circles. Indeed, there are more networks to be analysed, such as the Hermetical Order of the Golden Dawn, which seems to have been a precursor to the Ordo Templi Orientis. And these are continuations of the intelligence brotherhood network of the English and German Rosicrucians dating back to the 16th century, which laid the groundwork for much of the intelligence structure of the British and German intelligence networks in the modern world, who, as I stated in the previous video, are positioning Frankists at the foremost positions of their orders and organizations to disguise the fact that these are Anglo-German networks of Rosicrucian heritage, which is a very interesting concept indeed. As I stated, the Anglo-German networks of British intelligence and German intelligence, especially the MI6 Royal Arch networks and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks, are attempting to shut down their Frankist operations and bring their Frankist networks into a state of servitude again, believing that these golem networks of the Frankists have become out of control. Indeed, the majority of the conspiracy world blames these Frankist networks for the entire technocratic conspiracy. But it is not as simple as that. Indeed, I often fall into the trap and start babbling about the Frankists having overarching control, as I did the last few days, and then I come away from that theory, but then I go back to it again. But I hope this time that I have beaten the matrix and won't fall into the pitfalls of blaming the Frankist networks for everything, which is what the British and German intelligence networks, the Anglo-American and German intelligence networks would like me to do, and thereby not see these networks, especially the Secret Intelligence Service and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, for what they are. Indeed, these networks themselves are overseen also at times by the network known simply as the network, which is the intelligence network of the United Grand Lodge of England and the Scottish Rite, thereby Royal Arch Freemasonry, which is heavily interconnected with both the British intelligence agencies and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, which all figures in the way things occur. Indeed, the Bavarian Illuminati was a joint collaboration of British intelligence, the Prussian intelligence services and the Bavarian Secret Service, all utilizing at times certain segments of the Frankist intelligence structure to thereby bring about a state of affairs whereby anyone looking into these networks would immediately connect all the Frankist elements together and consider it an overwhelming Frankist conspiracy, when it seems that the driving hand behind the curtain is actually a British intelligence, thereby now Anglo-American intelligence and German intelligence operation, with the networks of intelligence operatives and their bloodline descendants of British and German heritage having been interlinked and often intermarrying for hundreds and hundreds of years, and creating this amazing, really, orchestrated intelligence web, which is dangled out there to be blamed on the Frankist networks, as we are seeing with the Epstein files and the current positioning of the Israeli state in the general mainframe of global conspiracy thinking. And I'm going to end it there.